want you to do, you don't have, it's not on your notes, you're just looking up here. The trick on functions is not really to tell what is a function, it's to tell what's not a function. So I would like you to talk with your table group for a moment, and I'd like you to decide one of these is a function, one of them is not. I'm going to call on a table group to tell me which one is not and why. So talk amongst yourselves for a hot minute. One of them is, one of them is not. So Jackson, make sure you can tell which one is a function and which one is not a function. Exactly, it's like the soda machine. Love hearing that. Love it. Do I have a brave group who wants to tell me? Can you tell me which one is not a function?
He's a function.
So B is a function?
Wait, he is? No. He is not a function.
I think B is a function. And you know what? He set me up to explain why. Here's the deal. Remember, it's about predictability. The first domain are the buttons. If I go in here, if this is a candy machine and I want a Twix at number 5, and I push 5 and I get a Twix, yay, but the next day I push 5 and I get Almond Joy, which is a dad candy, I'm going to be pissed off, right? I'm going to be like, here, that one sucks. The next day if I push 5 and I get Laffy Taffy, I'm going to cry because it pulls your fillings out of your mouth. So that is not a function. But on letter B, maybe it's literally a Twix machine. So I push 2 and I get a Twix, I push 3, I get a Twix, I push 4, I get a Twix, I push 5, that day I get a Milky Way. So it's all good. So not a function because we use the domain too many times, right? Okay, that's one way to show data. It's not our favorite way. It's not our favorite way because it's really hard to see. Like you can miss a number and you're screwed, right? So another way to show data is with a thing called mapping. And this is not quite on your notes yet, you're going to watch. What mapping does is this, it's really kind of cool. Mapping takes it and it would take something that's normally like this, 510, 420, 330, and 260, and oops, that was a 60, and it goes like this. It's super nice. It just goes like this. The reason we like mapping is that mapping is really visual. It's super visual. So if you're more of a visual person, it's super easy to see, right? So when you want to do mapping, I'm going to show you some that are functions and aren't functions, and it's super, super easy. So Jace, I'm going to have a real issue.
Sorry.
I cannot do this every day. We are in week 1, right? So we're going to talk after class about this. I cannot stop class literally every day. It's Algebra 2. None of you have to be here. Go to Personal Finance and talk your way through it. But in here, I cannot stop every day. Are we cool with that? Yeah. And it's lovely that I just taped all that. So, yay, awkward. Okay, so check out what's happening here. I'm going to do another one, and watch this. I'm going to make 5 go to 10. I'm going to make 5 go to 20. I'm going to make 5 go to 30. I'm going to make 5 go to 60. Is that a function? No, because I'm using the 5 too many times, right? That's what's nice about mapping is it's super obvious. When you're mapping, the sticks on the domain, these are your domains, these are your x's, right? This is your domain or your x's, can only get used once, right? So it's all we really care about is the domains. They only get used once. So that would not be a function. But check out this bad boy right here. This bad boy, let's go here to here. Think of this as like an ATM machine, and the only thing it gives out is $20 bills. You push button 5, it gives you 20. You push button 4, it gives you 20. You push button 3, it gives you 20. Is that a function? Yeah, it's boring. Sure, it's a boring function, but a function nonetheless. So here's the takeaway here. If you have one stick from all of the x's, you're good. If more than one come out, like if I do this, it's bad because he's going to two different things, right? So on your paper, take a look with your table group. I have two options. One of them is a function, one of them is not. Decide which is which for me. Now you can talk for a second. Now would be the time to talk. You can talk now. Which one did you say? Juliana, is that right? So Juliana's killing it right here. Right away, she saw A was a function because each one of these sticks came out once, right? But B was not because 100 might match to 4, it might match to 3. I like mapping. We don't use it a lot in math. I don't know why, but I like it. Okay, now next way is a tricky way. And again, you're just watching up here. It's not really on your notes. Another way to show data is graphing. Now, this is kind of weird, so you're going to watch on this one. We use this one a little bit. So, I have a graph up here, and I'm going to put some data on it. I got a point right here, and you're just watching me. I got a point right here. I got a point right here, and I have a point over here. And I'm going to tell you that is a function, and I'm going to explain why. And here's why it's a function. It turns out if I go to the x guy, which is -4, he has only one friend. We want him to have only one friend. We want him to match with one guy, and he does. And if I went to -1, he matches up with just one guy. And if I go to 3, he matches up with one guy. And if I go to 8, he matches up with one guy. That is a function. But watch what's going to happen. I'm going to change it to not a function really fast. And you're going to see, you're like, oh, that makes it so easy. All I'm going to do is add in 1 point and watch what I'm going to do, and it's not a function. Because look what happens. Because now all of a sudden, this guy right here, he has one friend, he has one friend, he has one friend, but this dude right here, I don't know which one he belongs to. And the minute he can go to 2 places, it's not a function. You learned this in Algebra 1. It's a tricky way, and it didn't make a lot of sense, but we called it the vertical line test. And what we would do is put a pencil, and if your pencil up and down only hit your graph at one spot, it's a function. So look, I only hit once, but here I hit twice, so it's not a function. Does that make sense? Yeah.
So it's only not a function if it's going like up and down like that?
Yeah, so watch this. So let me give you one that's more common that you guys would see. So take a look at this. This guy right here, he's going to be a function because if I only hit 1 time up and down, does that make sense? But watch this. Watch this guy right here. What if I had him go like that? Not a function, because if I plugged in this point, I could hit up here, and I could hit up here. So I think of it as folding over on itself. Does that make sense?
Wait, why would it be a function if it was the other way again?
Because when I did the other one, let me get rid of it. So if I did this, if I go to this point, yep, I have. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you can even just use your pencil, and as long as you hit it just one place, up and down, you're good to go. Do me a favor. Try the next ones on your with your table groups. Take a look at them. Some are functions, some are not. Decide which of these bad boys are functions. Yes. Not functions. Correct. Which ones are functions? Yeah, tell me. Because check this out. If I plug in this guy today, it could be 2, could be 5, could be 7. Very nice. It's a no. And here's why. So think about it. I'm pushing button 3. Maybe I'll get a 2. Maybe I'll get a 5. Maybe I'll get an 8. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. Right, but that means I've got 3, 2 and 3, 8 and 3, 10. Does that make sense? So great conversations. Here's what we got. Number 1, it's a function, right? touch at one place, I'm good to go. Circles feel like they should be a function, but they're not. Because if I plugged in this guy, I don't know if I want this answer or this answer. I can't have more than one answer. So that's a bad guy. This guy, totally good to go. This guy, no. Because look, if I plug in the one, look, I'm either up here or I'm here, and it's bad. This is where it gets a little weird. This guy is boring, but a function. It means that it's like the vending machine where every button gives you Dr. Pepper. It doesn't matter what button. If I'm pushing that button, it doesn't matter. I'm going to get that no matter what. He's a function. Here's another way to think about it. I taught my other class, think about whether you can ski on this. If it's flat, you can ski on it. It's boring. It's cross-country skiing, but you won't die, right? So here you are skiing. Woo, it's boring. This guy we call undefined. He is not a function, because if you were trying to ski on him, you would fall to your death. And because Jackson and I were talking, you're going to plug in 3, maybe you're going to get 2, maybe you're going to get 8, maybe you're going to get 57. He is not a function. So think in your head when they're flat and horizontal, flat lines are good, they have a slope, it's 0. Up and down lines are bad, they're undefined. We have one last way to do math, and it's the best way, because sometimes it's just about life. So the last way we can look at functions is with situations, and I love these. So I want you to think about this for a minute. So on this one, our input is a person. We're going to use me. You're going to use you could use a random person. My name is Dana. You're going to plug me in. Will I get to a specific birth date, or is it possible that I might have more than one birth date? What do you guys think? One birthday, more than one birthday? Oh, that's pretty funny. So, if you plug in me, will I have more than one birthday, or just one birthday? One birthday. It's a function. That's a function, because if you say Dana, you're going to get June 7th no matter what. You're not going to get like, oh, next year I'm going to celebrate on August 24th. No, it's June 7th, June 7th, June 7th. Now, let's try going the other way. What if X was a birth date? Will you automatically only get me? So if you plug in June 7th, no matter what, will you only, in the whole universe, get to me? No. You'll also get to Prince, right? Prince and I share the same birthday. So on June 7th, if you're saying, I'm celebrating today, and I say, yay, you're celebrating me, you're going to say, no, I'm celebrating Prince. So the other way, not a function. Does that make sense? So these are cool and tricky. I would like you to talk to your groups. We've done number 2 about the next ones. So let's try number 3, and you're going to talk about it. You take a person. Will you automatically get to one single address every single time? So some of us have one address. Well, let's think about our girl Beyonce. If I want her address, does she have one house? No, she's got a lot. My friends in here who have divorced parents, honestly, you have 2 different houses often, right? So I would say number 3, not always a function. How about number 4? If I dial a cell phone number, how many phones will ring?
1.
I think only 1. I think it would be crap if like 18 phones rang. If someone in like in another country picked up and was like, hello, I'm like, no, I'm trying to call Thomas, right? I think that one is a function. And the last one, if I take a person, will I automatically be able to match them to one significant other? Sometimes people are tricky, and you're dating 2 people at once, and I think that's bad. So I would say it's not always a function. So I rolled it, man. I was fun. Let me tell you what you're doing for tonight. For tonight, you are going to be given situations, and you're going to be writing function yes or no, and there's a part going where you have to explain whether, someone's watching me, okay, I need you to watch what I'm doing, because I don't want to say it twice, where you have to explain yes or why you wrote what you wrote. Only on the ones, Jackson, watch this, only on the ones that are not functions. Because you can't really explain why something is a function, right? It's like, because it is. So you only have to give me an explanation on the ones that are not. Now, I have one last thing to say. Put the phone away. I am literally still talking. Wow, this, I'm going to stop taking.